Hello, we're back again. I'm really trying to be consistent with these apparently because I really like this show a lot. So there's a part of my brain that forces me to record these. Like not even to record it. It forces me to have to record myself watching episodes, and I want to watch more episodes. Like, me myself, I want to watch more episodes, but there's a part of my brain that says you can't watch more episodes, specifically these episodes, without recording them. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, I want to watch the next 3 episodes, and I think I have time because it's not midnight unlike the other time that I was recording yesterday. But I want to watch the next 3 episodes. 3 episodes? There's 4 episodes. I don't know if I'll get to all of them, but okay, let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could if I pushed it, but I'm only listing 1 right now in the stream title because I might want to actually faint and fall asleep from exhaustion. So yeah. Who knows? So I'm gonna be trying to do homework or something. I'm awful at it though, so I don't know if it's gonna work. I have a new notebook and everything for my new classes. It's untouched right now. Look how untouched it is. This book is in my basket. Near the front, in front of the white one. Look at my little name. Oh wait, you're not supposed to see it. Can you see that? You probably totally could. How dare you? Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna be reacting to episode 89, Twice as Bright, but I want to get all the way up to the gold episode on my list, which is Nothing Beside Remains. And then I want to watch the 2 episodes after that, Containment and Dead Woman Walking. But I will definitely not get to those. I have enough time technically to get to that episode, but I am tired on school days. Okay, but I will react to these episodes now. What happened before? Literally, I was here before. Like, I can't update you on anything. I've said everything I need to say. Let's just get into it, because I want to get into it, you know? Twice as Bright.
A better night's sleep is one at the start at just $499.
Well, we really appreciate your support. If you'd like to join them, go to www.patreon.com/Rusty Quill and take a look at our rewards.
It was smoothie.
Rusty Quill presents
Chewing noises.
the Magnus
I'm sorry.
Archives.
Yeah, I'm already
Episode
feeling tired.
89,
So this isn't gonna go well.
Twice as Bright.
The third noises.
Something funny, Ms. Perry?
Yeah.
Care to share?
I think it's pretty obvious.
Look, I lost my normal coat and it's cold. Some of us actually feel it, you know.
You wouldn't shake my hand.
Well, no, I'm not stupid. Whatever the lightless flame is. Look, will you stop that?
Oh, all right.
We found her.
Oh, I hate explaining jokes, but imagine you're a butcher, and one day an injured little lamb walks into your workshop and strides right into one of the mincing machines. But when you go up to it, knife in hand, it shakes its head and says, "I'm not stupid." get why that's funny.
Right.
You don't have to be so rude.
Yours, please.
I suppose it's not really me, is it? Would you rather be a really stupid piece of firewood?
I just have a few questions. Did you burn down a section of Gwydir Forest last year?
Not alone, but yes. You should have seen how devastated they were. Such a loss.
I'm sure the Forestry Commission were mortified. Why?
Stop that! And it was because Nicola Ustinov asked us to. She was done with the place, and we're always happy to help. When that help is destroying something someone loves.
But
No more questions, Archivist.
You were a friend of Agnes Montague, correct?
She's not one of your little stories.
According to the statement of Jack Barnabas, she very much is.
That burnt-faced little runt. He got what was coming to him. Just like...
Yes, I understand. You could easily kill me. I'm at your mercy. Blah, blah, blah.
He's so done. He does not care.
Much scarier than you.
that a fact?
Okay, so why haven't you done it?
Think you'd fail.
We're in public.
Well, you're hardly keeping your voice down.
You talk about God and death and demons, nice and loud, and watch people bend over backwards not to listen to what you're saying. No one cares.
If you say so.
Are you trying to talk me into killing you? If I wanted, I could reach through your chest like Ronnie Wax and hold your heart while it cooked. No one would even notice if I
Fire
didn't give you
people.
time to scream.
Right. So why don't you? Does your God not want you to?
Hard to say. When I look at you, I feel
Jonathan
that
Sims has no
burning
self-preservation.
liquid pain eager
What?
to flow out and purify.
God not want you to?
Hard to say. When I look at you,
Interesting.
I feel that burning liquid pain eager to flow out and purify your rotten carcass.
Okay.
But I feel that a lot.
More or less than normal.
Why do you say oh
Hard to
like
say
that?
when
It's like,
every
oh.
nerve ending's on fire. Hard to tell degrees.
Third degree, maybe? Sorry. It was a... I have a God too, right?
Is that another joke?
No, I'm new to this. Everyone keeps calling me Archivist, like I'm special and that I serve...
I would like to
life,
know this too.
trying to kill me for it.
Yes.
So it's like your God, right?
Oh, please. Your God is nothing.
Yeah, mine's the best one.
Beholding, ceaseless watcher, whatever you
Ceaseless
call it.
watcher.
That's all it does. It
Looks.
watches and knows, sitting bulbous and comfortable in the ignorance of infinite knowledge.
The ignorance of infinite knowledge.
A reckoning.
That's a good mood right there.
Surging tide of destruction and pain.
The lightless flame.
The desolation.
The desolation. We've heard that before.
Blackened
Gertrude said
earth.
it.
The destructive,
Blackened earth.
agonizing heat of burning flesh and land scoured of life. The light, the comfort of fire stripped from it, leaving nothing but the terror of its approach. When it triumphs, it will leave the eye a burned and shriveled husk.
Can these things actually hurt each other? These entities.
Agony.
I see. So if one wants to watch everything, to know everything, and the other wants to destroy.
You don't even know what this is about, do you?
He does not. He's
tell
trying to
me.
know. He's trying. Don't need to be so rude
Archivist
about it.
Pleading for knowledge. That is satisfying to see.
Do they usually
You're
not?
You're just about my only lead.
This is so interesting.
Just kill me, alright? If it's so easy, if you're not going to tell me anything worth my time.
John's insane. You're so insane, John. Can you not? I know you're not gonna get killed, but also I don't
Well,
like that.
obviously not.
You just
You're just about my only lead. And if you're... Just kill me, alright? If it's so easy, if you're not going to tell me anything worth my time.
Now you're sounding like an archivist.
Is that what the alchemists
No,
do?
I'm obviously not going to.
Just kill me. If you're not gonna tell me something worth my time, is that what the alchemists are like? You better give me some information, or you're not worth it. Alchemist equals stuck up bitches all the time. That makes sense. Okay, so
Kill you.
Why not?
Consider it a favor.
Thank you.
Not for you.
thank
for
you,
Elias.
Elias.
Wait, but
You who
I mean,
you
if
know
I
you
serve the
you,
Holy
you
One,
know what?
he's in a lot deeper than I am, I think.
The rumor is he killed Gertrude Robinson.
True.
If so, I feel like I owe him. And
What
he
the
clearly
heck?
wants you alive, so...
What, no, but she was the last archivist, so you're deeper than I am, I think.
The rumor is he killed Gertrude Robinson.
I'm playing things
If
because
so, I feel like I owe him. And he clearly wants you alive,
so he wants. Yeah,
She
okay.
was the
I was
last
confirming that
archivist, so
Elias wants
you're-
John alive.
Your god. Why?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, and John is not going.
unfathomable contest of eternal forces is not the only reason I might want someone dead.
So,
Personal reasons.
so tell me the story
Personal
of why you
grudges.
wanted Gertrude.
Try to compel me again, and I'll burn it out of your mouth.
So that's what's been going on. Before John says anything, like, huh? let me go through this, cause this lady, Jude, hi Jude. She's been like, John's been like asking her questions like over and over again, and it's like, what is it? Like, what does this mean? And like, what about this? And then she's like, stop it, and then she just answers, and it's like she gets angry. She's like, ugh. She's like, and then she answers, and it's like, is something going on here? Cause she seems to be like, like protesting to it in a way, but then also answering. So is it like, because the way she said stop that at the beginning once, and I was like, and it's like Jonathan Sims just has superpowers now. He just has epic superpowers where he answers a question and the person's like, well, I guess I have to answer it. Time to give my statement. I am being forced to give my statement right now. I am being literally compelled to give my statement. Thanks a lot, Jonathan Sims. I guess, 'cause that's cool. I'm trying to play that off like it because that's interesting.
Now you're scared. Now you're getting it. There's no safety in sitting on the sidelines watching. The audience is only safe when the story isn't about them.
Huh?
Fine.
What does that mean?
Yes, now
Why you wanted Gertrude?
try to compel me again, and I'll
He was trying to
burn
compel
it
me.
out
That's,
of your
that
mouth.
seems pretty literal right there. What does this mean?
Now you're
What she's about to say?
scared. Now you're getting it. There's no safety in sitting on the sidelines watching. The audience is only safe when the story isn't about them.
Interesting. So they talk about
Fine.
the eye, or like him
Keep
and
your
the
damn
eye,
secrets.
and that, and Gertrude, and
No.
the whole, just
Maybe
the
I
whole
do want
collective.
to tell you a story.
If it's not about Gertrude or
How they're
Gwyneth,
not safe.
I can't talk about it.
This is that's something about the audience not being safe, and the audience is. I feel like we've pretty solidly connected the idea of John, and as the alchemist, being a passive force, sitting around and watching, and we've also connected the eye with the idea of just sitting, like being the audience, like sitting and watching, and Jude just said, was implying that the audience, the watchers, aren't safe when they're involved in the story, and that's like interesting. And I don't know what that exactly means, but it seems, let's just keep going.
Then what?
I'm going to give you some advice.
Fantastic. Well,
Aren't you going to say
Bird
more words?
noises, the outside.
Statement of Jude Perry regarding
Your words.
some advice. Recorded direct from subject April 24th, 2017.
She's a lot more
Statement begins.
upbeat and laughy than I thought she'd be.
Well, if you smother a flame, it dies. The only way it grows and flourishes is if you feed it. It's about making sure you find enough fuel for it, and not caring where it comes from. If you spend your time hiding and fretting about who you hurt, you'll sputter, and you'll die, as surely as any candle. Don't be afraid to burn. The pain is sensational. You feel
I don't know
your
about
flesh
that.
cooking, your nerves screaming out as they die exquisitely. Your whole body changes texture as you become that which feeds the fire. And in that agonizing, beautiful transformation, you can feel it ignite again and again and again. At least, that's how it feels for me. I don't know how it would feel for you. Maybe you get an itchy eye. I don't care. Point is, whatever form it takes,
This is so weird.
feed it.
I'm so interested
Strong.
in all of this.
Otherwise, you're the one that gets consumed. I never hid my flame. Not once. Even before I found my god, I burned as bright as I liked, and those who came too close simply ended up fueling my brilliance. At the time, the closest thing I had to God was cocaine, though I also spent my evenings as an acolyte to alcohol.
Makes sense.
True thrill was
I
mine.
appreciate this character.
Not mine, of course. Though I had plenty, but the money of others I could fling upon the pyre of the stock market. Whether it ignited into something more or simply burned down to ash meant nothing to me. It was the thrill that I craved. This was decades ago now. I was one of the top bankers for... it doesn't matter, they're not important. Not to mention that a series of severe fires has long since put them out of business. The point was that I burned through too much of myself because I didn't know what else I could burn. My girlfriend saw it, though she had no idea how to help with the deep depression that had settled over me.
I don't like
I never
tragic
felt much to
gay
begin with,
people.
but
I like gay
now
people
even
being
choice
happy.
seems
Because I don't think this is gonna end well.
voices at work, and people began to notice.
Girlfriend,
My
past
rating
tense.
began to drop. My colleagues would whisper and not so subtly leave me off invitations for what little socializing there was. I was burnt out in every sense but one, and that was the one that saved me. It was Agnes, of course. I don't know where she found me. I only remember sitting in a booth with a beautiful young woman who smelled like matches and incense.
Is this jealousy?
I
Was that
drinking
jealousy
coffee
from
so
before?
hot it peeled the skin from the roof of my mouth. But I didn't care. Just looking at her filled me with every kind of heat. We were talking about sacrifice, about power, about things that even now I struggle to fully understand. She was soft-spoken and shy, and I gradually became aware of other people stood around us. There seemed nothing remarkable about them at first. Different clothes, different ages, just a dozen or so unremarkable strangers. There was something in their faces, though, a vicious hunger that I knew mirrored my own, and they all looked at Agnes with such devotion. One of them, a round-faced black woman I'd later know as Sandy, squatted down next to me and stared into my face. She made a noise of dismissal and leaned in close to stare at me. She said, "I don't think so," and her breath hit me like a furnace. I instinctively thrust out a hand to push her away, but as I touched her face, she remained still, and instead my hand sank into it like softened candle wax. I screamed, but if anyone heard
Okay,
me, they
then.
didn't do anything. I could only stare as thick rivulets of molten flesh flowed down my arm and onto the ground. And Sandy's body shook as though with laughter, even as my hands stayed encased in her warped and yielding head. I probably don't need to describe how much it hurt. It would be a long time before I was able to use the hand again. At last, I calmed down enough to pull my scalded, wax-encrusted hand from her head. She stood up, pressed her fingers to her face, and calmly squeezed it back into shape. It didn't look exactly the same as before, though there was no mistaking the voice that came from her lips. She turned to Agnes and nodded her approval. Agnes, for her part, had been
To a
talking this entire
Tasing
time. I
slash
remembered.
test, I guess,
Somehow
for a file cold.
I had been listening. I knew what to do. Nicholas Tregenza was the one that I chose. I had other colleagues I hated far more, of course, and in many ways I might have even called Nick a friend, but unlike so many of the others, he had a lot to live for. His wife, Julie, had just given birth to a squalling brat that he'd named Desmond. Awful name for a baby. And he'd saved enough money
Dang.
to move away from London entirely. He'd just bought a house. When he spoke to me, he had hope in his face. And so much life in him, it still makes me smile to think about it. I invited him out for a drink to celebrate his good fortune, got him drunk, and stabbed him to death in a filthy alleyway near the edge of the Docklands.
The way that's sped up was really funny. Okay, that was a funny delivery. I'll admit it.
His skin didn't yield as easily as Sandy's had, but I suppose that's what knives are for, isn't it? And just like that, he was dead. And I felt no different. I had a minute of blind panic. How could I have been such an idiot? I hadn't even planned ahead to consider how I might dump the body. I was just so desperate to stoke the fire. I still felt sputtering inside me. Then, all at once, I saw the faintest tongues of smoke creeping around his body. In an instant, it was burning, and I was surrounded by that smell of matches and incense, mixed with an oily smell like cooking pork. And as he burned, I felt my senses sharpen. My limbs were alive with searing energy, and my heart was aglow with love. The agonizing, terrifying love of something that I knew must be a god. My god. The lightless inferno of desolation, of pain and destruction. My tears of joy were nothing but steam. Nick's body didn't completely burn to ash. Of course not. There needed to be something to identify. After all, what does my god care about death? It was the destruction of his life that it hungered for. The agony and fear of his wife and child, those that loved him. So they had to know he was dead. Killed and mutilated in a pointless and unforeseeable act of unutterable violence. Then it was simply a matter of forging his signature on a few documents, implicating him in some very illegal transactions to get his assets.
I'm thinking, because of the way this murder is described,
Burning
that
down the new
maybe
house,
some
of course,
other
and each act
statements
glorious hate
that
for
have to do with
destruction. I
like
felt my body
pointless
embrace
destruction of people's maybe of people's loved ones or their lives
any
might have to
feeling
do with the
pity and
desolation.
mercy I might have had for the poor woman I
But I
felt
can't think of any off
after
the top of my head that are like that. But it seems
He's
like
dead
the way
now,
this is
of course.
described
Though I do keep
makes
half
sense.
an eye on their son Desmond, see if he has anything worth taking from him. At first I channeled
Like
his
stealing
new
taking
energy
things from
into my
someone?
job and my relationship. Gretchen and I had never been happier as I moved from one success to the
Oh, I guess
next. I think
the gays
she
are
realised
happy.
there was something else going on, though. Perhaps she suspected how much
Murder
my mind
happy.
drifted to Agnes when I held her in my arms. I know she wondered about how I started keeping petrol in the cupboard, and about my newfound love of scented candles, but she never asked, never even mentioned it. Perhaps on some level she knew as well as I did where we were headed, but there are some things you just have to accept, that in the end they'll cause you pain. I should have been caught, really. For all that it gifted to me, my faith did little to hide my crimes, beyond ensuring they were scoured of physical evidence. And I know the police were investigating a possible serial murderer targeting people in my industry. But for whatever reason, they never gave me a second look. I later learned my new brothers and sisters of the Lightless Flame had taken it upon themselves to help hide my crimes. But even they are only human. Some of them, at least. I now know they were simply guiding me upon the path to my true epiphany. All this time I was serving my God, but only for my own glory. But with each new gift, each renewal of the fire, I saw how lifeless and hollow it was, how grey and ashen my existence had become. It became clear that where once I had destroyed to fuel my life, I now lived for the pain that I caused. And for Agnes, my sweet, hopeless Agnes. And so I ended it. For all the agony and pain on Gretchen's face, she didn't seem surprised when I doused myself in kerosene and set it alight.
Oh.
I think she screamed. She must have screamed, but I couldn't hear it. As the heat warped my
It's like the
bones
opposite of what I
and
thought would
bubbled
happen
my
with this
flesh.
relationship, but
All I
I'm
heard was
glad,
the loving
I guess.
exultation of my God.
Okay.
I suppose you did compel me after all.
But what about,
Try again, and I will actually kill you.
She
Don't
doesn't
tell
realize that
the
he's
favours
not
your gods might
trying.
have done for me,
He's not
and I
trying
will
to do
tell my
this.
story to your smouldering corpse.
Fine. I just wanted to know when it happened, is all.
I met Agnes in 1989 and completed my
89.
transformation in 1991.
Oh. It's
So you
just
set
that
yourself
don't-
on fire, and now you're a
I
fire
mean, you
person.
don't seem like you're, what, in your 50s? Or burnt to a crisp?
I'm magic like that.
Wax is remarkably easy
Oh yeah,
to
you're
mold.
made of
Ah,
wax.
Oh.
Just Jonathan Sims' reaction.
Oh, come on. You're going to need a much stronger stomach than that if you're going to walk this path.
I mean, I don't...
It's like
True.
you're not even listening. You have your God as I have mine. Feed it. Fearlessly and without hesitation. Or
Feed
it
it?
will feed on you.
Are the statements not enough?
I mean, what do I feed it?
Yeah.
You're the one it picked. Not a great choice, if you ask me.
I didn't ask you.
Rip.
Is there anything else you can tell me?
Yes.
Anything you're willing to tell me?
No.
You're so
Suppose I
rude.
could talk to anyone else in your,
It's fine. You can call it a cult. And no, they wouldn't hesitate. They're not as friendly as I am.
Well,
I mean,
thank you for the
I do kind of appreciate this.
advice.
I kind of like this person. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait.
Hmm?
If you're really keen to keep chatting to things that could kill you, I might know someone. We're not on great terms. He's closer to your lot than mine, but I know where he
You're a lot.
exists.
Who... what is he?
Calls himself Mike.
Michael?
I guess Mike is normally short for Michael, yeah?
Corridors, weird limbs, laughs like a headache.
What? No.
Just
He's pale.
different people are called
weird
Michael.
Scars.
Michael's a
smells
common
of
name, it seems.
Like ozone.
Yeah, that's the one.
What?
Runs around with the Fairchild sometimes.
Michael Crew.
That's
What?
him.
Wait a second.
No. He's pale, got a big weird scar, smells
It's
of,
the lightning
Ozone.
guy.
yeah, that's one.
jumping out
And
the
round the
clock
fair
tower,
shop.
Michael.
bell tower, jumping out the bell tower, lightning scar,
I know where you can find him.
Lichtenberg scar
Not
tissue,
free.
take me vast guy,
What do you want?
inside book,
Not
man.
much. Just shake my hand.
What?
You hurt my feelings earlier. I want you to shake my hand.
It sounds like it would hurt.
Come on. It won't hurt.
It won't? Are you promising?
I lied.
Okay. Thinking about how Jonathan Sims has no care for his own life.
Is a podcast distributed by Rusty Quill and
Like-
licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 international license. Today's episode was written by Jonathan Sims and directed by Alexander J. Newell. To subscribe, view associated material, or join our Patreon, visit rustyquill.com. Rate and review us online, tweet us at The Rusty Quill, visit us on Facebook, or email us at
Like-
mail@rustyquill.com. Join our communities on the forum via the website or on Reddit at r/the Magnus Archives.
Okay, I'm just gonna talk for a minute. Well, Michael Crew, apparently. We've heard about this guy. I can't believe we're meeting these people that we've heard about, like, for real meeting. Like, I always see them as this, like, far off, like these far off figures doing who knows what, who knows where. But, like, we're actually meeting these people. And this guy especially, we've been hearing about this guy forever. Like, since, I'm pretty sure this is the first Lightner. This guy's got mentioned in the first Lightner episode. Like, insane. It's the one with the guy, and he went to Mary Key, and she had the bone book. and then he was like, I see my friend's Lichtenberg scar, and he, like, ran out and was like, the ozone smell. So the desolation, the wiki in its summary, it specifies very non-suspiciously that the desolation didn't crave the death of that person, but the destruction of its life. And then Jude burnt down his house and seized his wife's assets. So it seems like this thing just, even though it's called the desolation, it seems like maybe it was just her though. Maybe it was just this Jude. But she seemed to not only destroy this guy, but, like, really destroy this guy. Like destroy his entire life. Even kill him and also destroy everything that he left behind as well. And, like, she's just, like, taking things from people. Which, it's kind of awful. Maybe Gretchen didn't die, which I expected her to die. I expected her to get burnt alive, and I was like, no, I don't want that. I dislike bad endings for gay characters, but it's just like, no. It's just, Jude sets herself on fire and traumatizes her. I mean, it's the better, at least both of them are alive, question mark. If he compels her, she keeps using the compel word, which seems like it's an actual thing, even though Jonathan Sims didn't seem to question it, because he's Jonathan Sims, and he's got a lot on his plate right now, and while he's acknowledging the fact that he's, like, now, like, serving this entity unwillingly, like, he doesn't seem to, like, question much what he's very clueless as to what that entails. He said Michael. He's like, there's multiple Michaels. And he's like, oh, what? Closer to your lot than mine. Hey, bro. I always freak out whenever I can scroll into the continuity section and there's no like spoiler warning for me, warning me not to scroll any further. It says related entity to desolation, and there's no space. There's no warning. It just says it's the desolation, which is, it's true. That's not a spoiler because it's been talked about this entire freaking thing, which is, oh, it's cool. Okay. Meaning Drew talked. She brought up the Fairchilds being related to Michael Crew. Did we know that before? Did we know that Michael Crew was related to the Fairchilds in some way? Because Simon Fairchild, what are you doing here? No, not the ground. Simon Fairchild, don't take the ground away from me. Okay, that's all I know Simon Fairchild for. I'm sorry. Where'd the ground go? Oh god. And he's also involved in that one space study with all those other people and all the other people that exist in the entire world who are involved in that space study. Okay. Interesting. So I watched that one episode. What else do I say? There's a bunch of hints. Jonathan Sims not caring about his own life at all. Like, at all. For some reason. He's just insane. He's just actually insane. I like to describe this to my sister, and she later said that, like, she thought, based on my description, that Jonathan Sims was a stupid dude. Like, no. He's not he's stupid in the conventional sense. Like, I don't know how she picked up on that, considering my ever-loving fondness for him, and you know. Like, you can tell he's an intellectual. Like, he's a fucking nerd. You can tell. He's one of those bird-brained intellectual types, but he's also insane. He's also absolutely insane. He also has no self-preservation. His brain seems like it's operating in another dimension, but like in a way that makes it a way that's understandable. Like it's not like incomprehensible, but there's just some things he does that like no sane person would do. Like he talks to this person, he seeks out this person. I thought he was gonna seek out this person to like track them down or like track them and see what they're doing. No, he seeked out this very dangerous cult person who could kill him, and said, "Let's sit down for tea. I need to talk to you." And then she mentions multiple times how easily she could kill him, and then he sat there going like, do it. He had no guarantee why. He didn't know why she wasn't killing him. What's going on? He's insane. Like that's not him just being stupid. Like that's what not even a stupid character would do this. Like he's just absolutely off his rocker. Like / pause in a good way, but like I don't understand. Jonathan Sims is the opposite of stupid. He's intellectually driven to the point of madness. Like I don't understand. Like he did not know why. He was extremely curious as to why she has not killed him yet. He did not know why. Why was he so eager to get murdered? Why was he so flippantly aware of the fact that he could be dead? Like, he didn't care at all. I don't understand him. He's insane. I love him. Okay. Jonathan Sims, my beloved. I really like this character a lot, by the way. What the frick is Gwildur Forest? Oh, that's from Uncanny Valley. That makes sense. That was from Uncanny Valley. Yeah, she was from Uncanny Valley. I just watched that episode. Except I didn't record it, even though I should have. Okay. Jonathan screams in pain. Okay. What else do I say? Bunch of stuff. This is basically I don't know. I don't actually know what a biopic is. I feel like I've heard the term biopic referring to like probably biologies, but it's like this is like I don't actually know the definition of biopic. I don't actually know what it means. This is a desolation biopic. I don't know what a biopic is. This is the best we've gotten of the desolation, I guess. Like the most literal, like. Literal direct picture from basically the source of as I'm the one of his its followers as a source. Usually we get like outside perspectives or point of views about these people. Also, we don't know why Jude was we don't know why the desolation was. I guess Gertrude speculated that it actually made some sense. The desolation people working with the strangers people. But who knows? Jude did let that guy go. She winked at him or something and said bye. Okay. That was an interesting episode. We're gonna talk to Michael Crew apparently. Everyone's just connected. Everyone knows each other. And it's like she's like, hey man, I can put you into contact with Michael Crew. And Jonathan's like, okay, the show dog, let's go. It's just everyone knows each other, just helping John out to get killed apparently, because Jonathan Sims does not care at all about his well-being. I don't know why he's so I don't know. It just feels like either he doesn't care about the fact that his life is in danger, but the way he acts, it makes it seem like he's aware of the fact that his life cannot be in danger. That's the weirdest thing. But like he's subconsciously aware of the fact that he cannot die. There's something like what is going on in your head? He's actually insane. Okay. Episode 90, Bodybuilder. Hoo-hoo. This is a silver episode. Okay.
Do you need a New Year's resolution for your wallet?
No, I'm
$1,000
good.
off LASIK.
Pedro Rosario Silva.
I'm sorry, patrons.
Rusty Quill presents the Magnus Archives. Episode 90, Bodybuilder.
Tim? Hey, boss. What brings you down to the dungeons? Your office just too full of joy?
Not quite.
Elias.
I heard you'd had some absences, some unauthorized leave. I just wanted to talk it through with you. Right? Were you sick? If you're sick, you really need to call in.
Nope. Wasn't sick. Try again.
Well, you hadn't booked any leave.
No, I had not.
Tim tries to get
So what
fired. Tries to
Got
test
flight
if
to
Elias
Malaysia.
can fire
Found
him.
myself a hotel.
I see. You were
Can-
trying to leave us?
Yeah.
But you returned.
I got sick. The longer I was gone, I felt weak, like
Ooh. I didn't know that would happen.
Losing myself.
That's... God.
Fire me, boss?
No,
I think
I
you
don't think that'll be necessary.
you
Of course
you
not.
realized what happens
Let's
when
be sure it
you
doesn't
try to
happen again.
leave.
You do know, right? I mean, you must know
He definitely knows.
about this place.
During
About what it does
season
to
1,
us.
I didn't think he knew, but he was good at selling that.
Tim, this place is very old. It has all sorts of idiosyncrasies, and not all of them are good for the people who work here.
I think I prefer asbestos.
I've always found the best way to deal with it is to lose yourself in work. Personally, the comfortable rigor of bureaucracy has always helped me. Perhaps doing a bit of mindless filing will help distract you.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you're right.
I'm sure I am. And no more unauthorized absence, okay?
Oh, is everything okay in here?
Yes, Martin. Very much so.
Right. I was actually going to record a statement, if that's all right, Tim.
Yeah, it's all already running.
Oh, so it is. Why did you
It's already recording. Yeah, why did he turn it on? Why is it already recording? Why did he turn it on? What's going on? There was that one time that Martin and Tim were talking. I think Martin and Tim were talking, and Martin was like, "Who turned this recorder on again?" And Tim's like, "Not me." And then he leaves. And that's exactly what happened this time. It's like, "Why is it on?" And he's like, and Tim leaves.
Martin Blackwood, Archival Assistant at the Magnus Institute, recording statement number 01308007. Statement of Ross Davenport, given August 7th, 2013. Statement begins. So I had to find a new gym. It was a shame, really. I loved my old place, and the guys there were some of my best mates, but it wasn't entirely my own decision. See, I recently decided to start taking anabolic steroids to supplement my bodybuilding, and the place I used to go had a very strict policy about them. Matt, the guy who ran the place, his partner had gotten deep into them, and when he had a heart attack, Matt blamed the steroids. Since then, you get seen with a needle or pill bottle that's not a recognised supplement, and you're out of there. Still, I didn't leave because I got caught or anything like that. I hadn't even started when I left. I just felt guilty, like it was an admission of failure. 11 years I'd been going, all natural, and physically I was at the top of my game. I did well in competitions, I felt healthy. I was pretty much the ideal weight for my height, but when I looked in the mirror, I still didn't see what I wanted to. My muscles were smooth and rounded, not like the veined, bulging shapes that I idolised. Even when I spent weeks
What's this
dieting before a competition,
body?
without
This
an
type of
ounce
body
body fat,
dysphoria
I
called?
just couldn't get there.
The dysphoria that
I'd
usually
reached
men
my
get that
natural
forces
peak.
them to build muscles. I feel like
And it wasn't
I
enough.
feel like there's a name for it, but I forgot.
So I did my research and ordered a cycle of steroids online. I didn't want to be unsafe, so I made sure I got a full checkup from my doctor before I started, though obviously I didn't mention why. Everything came back fine, so all that was left was to find a new gym where nobody would mind me taking them. This was harder than it should have been, mostly because of my own standards. Plenty of places had an official policy banning drugs on site and just didn't enforce it. To me, though, the whole point of moving gyms was that I didn't want to have to hide like a criminal or pretend to think what I was doing was wrong. I wanted somewhere I could be honest about who I was and what I wanted to be. Eventually I found it, weirdly enough, in the Yellow Pages. Online searches hadn't shown anywhere promising near my home.
I want to rest my back.
So I thought I might as well try the phone book. As you'd expect, most of the listings just pointed me towards their websites. But I spotted a small square ad box in the lower left corner. It was text only and read, "Your perfect body is here. Become all you can be." Followed by a landline number and an address about 5 minutes walk from me. So I gave them a call. The voice that answered was rough and spoke in the sort of English accent that usually gets my hackles up. But when I asked him what the gym's policy on steroids was, he just laughed and said that if it helped me perfect myself, then it was more than welcome. I arranged to swing by the following day and check the place out.
All the time.
From the outside, the gym wasn't much to look at. just the faded outline of a dumbbell on
My
a
back
grimy
is
window,
awful.
and the words weights and cardio just about readable over the door. I realised that I actually passed this place pretty regularly and just always assumed it was out of business. The door was open though, so I went inside. It was a hot day, but the air in the reception was cool, tinged with that familiar scent of sweat and something else I couldn't quite identify.
Hope
There
it's
wasn't
not
anyone
blood.
behind the desk, and the
Or
computer didn't look like it had been turned on all day.
Rot
I
or
called out to see if I
something
could get
else
somebody's
messed up.
attention when I heard the door to the changing rooms open, and someone stepped out. The man who stood there was, without a doubt, the biggest guy I had ever seen.
Okay.
Bear in mind, I spend my time hanging out with bodybuilders. He had to hunch down to fit through the doorway and was almost twice as wide as I was. Most of his body was covered in a loose tracksuit, and I could see clear stitch marks where it had been enlarged for him. Embroidered on the chest was the letter J. Despite his enormous size, his face seemed pretty normal, even handsome, with the sort of cheekbones and jawline I'd kill for. He smiled when I stammered out a
Thanks for
hello,
this, the
asked if I was
dysphoria,
Ross
man.
from Fred. Sure, I
Not
said.
your fault. Sorry,
He
guys.
immediately launched into all sorts of questions about my workout, what I was looking for, what safety measures I had for my steroids, that sort of thing. None of it was unexpected, and he clearly knew his stuff. But then he started asking me some slightly more personal questions. Why I'd become a bodybuilder, how it made me feel, what parts of myself I hated. It felt a bit invasive, but I answered honestly, and he seemed satisfied, turning around and gesturing for me to follow as he headed in to show me around. The gym itself
I'm
was
guessing
good,
stranger
nothing
right now.
special. It actually didn't have much in the way of cardio machines, but that had never really been my priority, so it wasn't a
All the
problem.
body stuff.
There was also quite a lot of
All the
old-fashioned gymnastics
becoming,
equipment, parallel beams,
making
pulsing
yourself a
horses,
different version of
high bars,
yourself
all that
stuff.
sort of thing. It was a huge room, and to be honest, part of me just assumed that they were there to use up some of the space. It certainly had everything I needed, although I did wonder why we were the only ones in there. It was the changing room that really struck me as odd, though. It was just the one, apparently unisex, though I doubted any women were members.
Dang,
Decent
okay,
size,
man. Okay,
plenty
man.
of showers, good
Tell me
water
how you
pressure,
really feel.
everything you needed. It seemed perfectly normal, except for one thing. The lockers were absolutely enormous. They came right up to the ceiling, which was easily 12 foot from the floor, and must have been a good 2 or 3 feet wide. Each had what looked to be a unique lock, and only a few of them had keys in. My guide explained that every member of the gym had their own locker and kept it as long as they were a member. I asked what happened when all the lockers were taken, and he just shrugged. No new members, he said. When he shrugged, the fabric of his hoodie moved in such an odd way. It was fascinating, and I made a mental note to keep an eye out for him in the gym, so I could get a proper look at him.
His
I
hoodie?
walked over to one of the lockers.
Oh my god,
with
my
the key
computer's
still in it,
freaking out.
number 31, and pulled it out. I looked back at him and he nodded. The locker was just as big inside as I'd thought, and went back about 5 feet into the wall. Forget a workout bag. I could have stored my entire wardrobe in that thing.
How about a body?
After that, I headed back into the reception, and the guy
How
took
about
down my
multiple
details,
bodies?
signed a few forms, and just like that, I was a member. He told me to keep the key and explained that he preferred to have membership fees paid in cash. That didn't surprise me. I got the feeling that there were a few things about the place that wouldn't pass any sort of official audit. Still, it suited me perfectly, so I had no interest in causing them any sort of trouble. Gave him a big thumbs up, and he nodded, turned, and headed out of the doors, off down the street. It was a bit abrupt, but to be honest, I wasn't sure he was all there, if you know what I mean, so I didn't think too much of it. I did kick myself, though, as I realised I hadn't actually got his name, so Jay would have to do for now. With Jay gone, it seemed like I was the only one there, so I got changed and got on with my workout. It was a bit eerie, being all alone in that huge room. I'm used to having the presence of others to motivate me, to push me further than I'd otherwise go, just to show off a bit. On my own, though, I found myself working out at a much more leisurely pace. I was more careful than I normally would have been, if only because I didn't have a spotter. The whole day, I kept expecting someone else to come in. We'd get chatting, I thought, and I could maybe ask them to spot me, but the day slowly passed and I was still alone. Occasionally I heard a noise from the changing rooms that I would have sworn was someone coming in, but there was no one. Eventually I showered, changed back and headed home for a less than exciting dinner of chicken and beans. The next day was the same, and the one after that. No matter when I went, the place was always empty, with no sign of Jay or anybody else. I wondered if somehow I'd been tricked into paying to use an abandoned gym or something, but it was well maintained and really clean, so someone was looking after it. In fact, thinking about it, I'd say it must have been the cleanest gym I'd ever used, although at the time I thought that was because I was the only one using it. About 5 days into my time there,
I got so
finally
interested
met
in the
someone else.
story itself that
Her
I
name was
forgot
Marie
that
Valandin.
Martin was
She seemed just
giving
as
this
surprised
statement.
to see me as I was to see her. Apparently she'd been using the gym for about 2 months and had, like me, thought she was the only one. She'd been off to see her sister down in Glasgow for a week and was a bit shocked I'd turned up in her absence. We got to talking though and got on pretty well, so sure enough, after a few minutes she offered to spot me.
This
Truth
family
be
said
told,
I
was
didn't expect
dubious
any
she'd
woman
able
to be
keep
here.
up, but a few sets shot me right up. Whatever she was taking, she was a lot further along than me, and by the end I was struggling when spotting her.
Hey
Still,
man,
there was a
this stood
camaraderie
corrected.
that came from being the only 2 people in that weird place, and it didn't take long for us to become good friends, swapping diet tips and theories about what the deal was with Jay, whose real name she claimed was Jared. There was one other advantage.
I don't
to
like the
knowing
name
Marie well
Jared
though.
anymore.
It let me ignore the sounds from the locker room.
Jared, not
Occasional
Gerard.
thumps and creaks.
Jared.
I could just write it off as her being a bit clumsy, even when I hadn't seen her come in. Marie was apparently quite a big deal in some of the international women's bodybuilding competitions. I'd never followed them, but she showed me a few of her trophies once. The way she trained, though, it was intense, driven. More driven than I'd expect from someone with so many wins under her belt. She'd push herself way past the point of exhaustion every day, and for all the awards her body had gotten her, it sometimes seemed to me like she wanted to destroy it. Often I'd find her staring at the mirror in the changing room, her gaze locked on her shoulders, moving them slowly up and down with a look of disgust on her face. I didn't really think about it too much though, as my own
Not
steroid
the
course had started to show
dysphoria
results. I
episode.
was spending plenty of time in front of the mirror myself. It wasn't enough though. I knew it wasn't enough. I knew I was going to have to go on another course as soon as my body had recovered from this one. Maybe even sooner. I don't know how it would have ended if I hadn't lost my phone. I don't have much of a social life, so I didn't notice it was gone until I was getting ready for bed. It must have fallen out of my jacket pocket when I'd hung it up at the gym. I wouldn't have minded waiting until the next day, but it had my training diary on it, and I always spent 10 minutes filling it in before bed. It was a small ritual, but an important one, and given that it was just down the road, I figured I might as well go and see if the gym was still open. Since no one ever seemed to be around, I figured maybe no one locked it overnight. So, at about 11:30 last Wednesday night, I found myself gently pushing open the door to my gym. It wasn't locked, just as I guessed, and everything inside seemed quiet. I headed through into the changing room, and there was my phone, where it had fallen in my locker. I grabbed it and was just about to leave when I heard movement coming from the gym itself. I nearly jumped out of my skin.
There we go, somewhat creepy at
I
night.
should have left. I should have turned right around and marched out of that place. But instead I felt a rage building inside me. Whoever was in there, it was almost midnight. How dare they come in sneaking around like that, trying to give me a heart attack? I set my face hard
Okay,
and
it's
walked
kinda
through,
funny.
preparing to give Marie or whoever it was a piece of my mind. The lights in the gym were off, but I could see movement over near the gymnastics equipment, someone swinging back and forth on the parallel bars. It was a smooth, rhythmic motion, down and around and up and over, around and over, up and down. Sometimes the movement flew up, releasing the bars for a moment before deftly catching them on the way down. There was no sound as I got closer, apart from the faint slap of hands gripping and releasing the wood of the beams. If it was Marie, I'd never seen her doing anything like this before. I walked over and turned on the overhead lights. It was not Marie, swinging round and about on the bars. Marie only had 2 arms. Marie had legs. And Marie had a head. The thing that swung, flipped and twirled
Was
around
it a
the bars
ball?
was nothing like Marie, though its flesh looked human enough. It did have a smile, though, stitched, right in the center of its torso.
Of course.
I screamed so hard I tore something in my throat. I don't know if it
It
hurt
was
me.
a ball with arms.
Okay. The things in that place did hear me, because as I ran back and out through the changing rooms, all the lockers were opening. What came
So there
climbing
were
out of them
bodies
was
in the
people.
lockers.
I'm sure of that. They
But
called
like
to me, offering to help
antibodies.
protect me.
I didn't
Help
even
me
realize the
achieve my
antibodies
ideal
thing.
body. Jay was there, standing his full height, a distended, jagged
You call
body,
things that
bare
are
in all
not
its
bodies
twisted grandeur,
antibodies.
and he shook his head in frustration. He said something, I think, but I couldn't make it out.
He said enjoy Skyfall.
Too soon.
I'm sorry. No. Okay, I'm
I
joking.
tried to remember some of them in detail. The confusion of limbs and joints and muscles, but all I can remember is the happy, joyful way they called to me.
Oh,
That the pain
talking.
was worth it. Makes me sick that a small, sharp part of me wishes I'd stayed to listen. I never went back. I called Marie and told her what had happened, but she didn't believe me.
I guess no one
At
would.
least, I hope she didn't. Because if she did, then some of the questions she asked make me very worried for her indeed. Statement ends. The supplemental materials that should go with this statement, providing more details on addresses, names and stuff, seems to be missing, so we don't have any way of tracking down the gym or finding out the name of the business. Not without
Can we track down
copies of
some
the
mouth
Aberdeen Yellow
torsos?
Pages. Bit of a relief in some ways. Tried to contact Mr. Davenport about it and did get through, but he told me to he wishes no further contact with the institute.
He told me
Melanie
to.
looked into Marie Belandin though in 2011
Martin,
and 2012.
please, you can
She
say
did
it. Let
really well in
Martin
several
just
IFBB
curse.
competitions, but it looks like she disappeared around the time of this statement. No missing persons report was ever filed, but
Rip.
there's no record
She's dead.
of her anywhere after that. The last official mention seems to be a police report filed on August 23rd, 2013, which lists her as a person of interest in a series of animal mutilations on a farm about 5 miles west of Aberdeen. A bunch of sheep were found dead, with their femurs removed. Look, I know we're not meant to speculate in these bits, but, well, just...
Speculate away.
I wonder what she was planning to do with them.
The animals?
Well, that's it.
Yeah, what the heck? Why was this a silver episode? Okay, I'm going insane. Why was this a silver episode? While Uncanny Valley was a bronze episode with one person supporting it. I'm going insane. Uncanny Valley is like, I wish, it's one of the episodes I wish I reacted to. Like, basically just as much as Twice as Bright, or even more so than Twice as Bright. Like, and both of those were bronze episodes. This episode, it was cool. It had some cool, it was, but it seemed like a normal Magnus Archives episode. It was just the thing at the beginning with Elias. Like, I like reacting to overall plot things, but it just seems like I like reacting to overall plot things, but it seems like the things that are marked as like the list, it seems like the list I've been given, it doesn't make any sense. Like, plot-wise, this episode didn't have much like going for it in like overall plot stuff, and that's the stuff I like recording. Like, it was a good episode, don't get me wrong, but like, it was a good episode I'd be okay with like listening to on my own, like without a recording. Like, I don't understand what's going on, or why is it going on, or why ba-do-boo ba-do-boo ba-do. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. It's like I'm going insane. I don't know. Okay. Oh, I don't. I'm going wacky. I don't know what's happening. Okay. The episode was great. It was fine. Something about. Is there anything continuity wise that went on in that episode that I missed? At the local gym. Yeah, the interesting thing, the overall plot thing that happened in this episode was that Tim decided, what happens if I just try to leave? And then and then the universe granted him sickness and basically forced him to come back for fear of vomiting everywhere. Tim says, Elias, you must know what's going on. And then Elias is like, things are kind of wacky, Tim. Like, he's season 1 Elias. Come on, season 1 Elias. You tricky trickster. Jared. Which Jared is this? Wait a second. Jared is the meat man? the reachy in your arm meat man? The reach in your arm bone turner's tail meat man? Wait a second. Oh, that's why I recognize the name Jared from. Okay. Animal mutilations. Sheep had their bones removed, and that's Jared. Jared, the bone removal guy. So, this is the same Jared that one guy called like super huge, like he like inhumanly huge. Oh, so a bunch of bones in him, and this lady probably joined him in the bone practice, I guess. Bone removal practice. That's kind of cool. Okay. Should I listen to The Coming Storm? I'm kind of tired. I'm really tired. Okay, I'll listen to The Coming Storm and Nothing Beside Remains tomorrow. But tonight I'm sleeping because I'm tired. But I will react. I'm just so I don't know what's going on with this list that they gave me. Like, it's so not it doesn't make any sense. Like, I did not enjoy this episode. It's just that it wasn't like there was nothing progression wise for me to react to. Like, there's nothing reaction wise. I don't know why this was included like this. Bodybuilder. Funny. Okay. I'm gonna react to The Coming Store and Nothing Beside Remains tomorrow. Okay. So yeah, on this list it says the ones with a longer list of people attached to it are the ones that people like seeing reactions to more. I guess. But Uncanny Valley is a bronze episode with only one person backing it. But Bodybuilder, I mean, it's a silver episode, but it has two people backing it. But it's silver for some reason. I don't know how these are labeled. Why are they silver? Okay, I don't know what's happening. Okay. I don't know what I'm getting. I'm getting upset about this list. I liked the episode, but I liked this episode I liked all the other episodes. It wasn't like a reaction type episode, you know. I can't tell. Okay, but it was interesting. I liked it. I got kind of involved in the story. I forgot that like Martin was giving a statement. That's how involved I got. But it was good. But like I like the whole this like more of the Jared stuff. But I'm like, this list. I'm still. I'm only upset about this because I'm upset about Uncanny Valley. Aside from that, I'm just still salty about Uncanny Valley. Okay, bye. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm kind of tired. Signing off to the next